So in this short video, I'm going to go over the first worksheet as part of the grant proposal project that you're doing and help you kind of work through filling that out. So in this worksheet, the purpose is for you to be able to share different ideas, and you need to get your idea approved before moving forward. And you can have up to 4 if you want to do more, but in this worksheet, just a maximum of 4 ideas. If you have 1 or 2, that's fine too, but please complete the 8 questions that are included in this questionnaire per idea. So in the first question, I want you to include the project idea and the organization. And I understand that you're not necessarily working with the organization, so it's not your organization, but think about if that organization could feasibly implement this project in the next 2 to 3 years. Remember, it needs to be a nonprofit organization, and it needs to be a project that's going to meet an unmet community health need. So I wrote down a couple ideas here that students have done in the past. So maybe writing a grant for outdoor gym equipment and putting it in a park for Parks and Rec. Or one student in the past actually bought park equipment, playground equipment for an area in a low income area that didn't have a park or play area for the kids. For the Greater Lynchburg Transit Company or your local bus company or transportation services, a student did a bus stop and made it handicap accessible. Our bus stops here are not the friendliest for those that are disabled. So another one could be tents to provide outdoor classes for the YMCA. Or outreach program. This could, for the MPH program at the University of Lynchburg, and that would be kind of up to you to design more of what that program might look like. I've had students look to expand services that already exist. So expanding, adding additional services on the weekends to rural areas for Meals and Wheels was one. A student wrote a grant for dental equipment to expand mobile health services for Johnson Health Center, a federally qualified health center here. So those give you some ideas, along with going back to the foundation links. Bedford Foundation link has some good ones that's on Moodle, but also checking other local foundations for some ideas. If you also want to email me an idea, you certainly can too before doing this. But otherwise, work through the worksheet and put the idea, again, the project, and then the organization. And look at the mission of the organization and make sure that the project is compatible with the mission, because if it's not going to be a good fit. So this is going to help you walk through the idea. And then what is unique about that project that you have? We also want to make sure that you're not duplicating it. If you are duplicating it, is there a way to partner with another organization? So who else is doing that project? So you want to do a little bit of Google search and research to see if anybody else is doing the same thing. Not that you can't do it, you could do it, but maybe in it for a different population or for a different area of town. So for example, community gardens. I've had students do community gardens, and certainly an organization may have one in another part of town, and you could write one for another area of town. So put who you could collaborate with. Grant funders love collaboration. So you could work with them and show that you're working with them to use some of their resources, and you'll be more likely to be funded that way as well. What is that community need? So that unmet community need is where you will briefly write that here. Who is supporting of this project? So again, this may be something where you can see if they've supported other projects, but are there certain organizations, school leaders, civic leaders, political figures that maybe support this type of project? Then does your organization have the expertise to undertake the project? So make sure it again aligns with that mission and that they're able to manage the growth of the personnel. So I did recommend you working on a smaller grant for this project. So 5 to 15,000 is a good range. If you want to go higher, so you certainly can. But then it just gets more complicated when we get to the budget. But I'm happy to work with you on whatever size grant you want to do. And so these smaller grants, it should not have a problem with the organization being able to manage it, and hopefully add on to a current staff member's already roles and responsibilities would be ideal, or including some volunteers as part of it. And then internal support or external support. So does the organization support it? And if, of course, you may not be in contact with them, but if hypothetically they should internally support it. And then if you have anybody or other organizations, stakeholders that may support it externally. So this just will help you get your idea going. Again, you can do one or you can do four. You can add more if you want to do more, if you have lots of ideas. And then I will provide feedback on which one I think is going to be most fundable and feasible for this project, and give you some advice on that. So if you do have questions as you're putting this together, or about an idea before you fill this out, please don't hesitate to reach out by email. So thank you, and then look forward to future videos for the upcoming worksheets as well.